Alrighty, let's go ahead and check my sound levels. Is okay. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's happening out there? Wow. Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's look at that another channel. Give me a second here. All right, let's see. Have one person watch this so far. Let's see if everybody can get in. If anyone's out there watching, can they hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Yo, what up, Doc? Can you hear me? How's my sound levels coming in? You good? Yeah, so let me know if you can hear me, Doc. Mr. Doc, that is. Alrighty, good. Thank you. Alrighty. So what's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another live hangout vid. Yeah, I've been very busy. I was trying to, get my 2 cents in on what's going on in the world of boxing. We all know that Tyson Fury has another fight coming up the Saturday at Winter Park on the undercard against what's his name? Against Francisco Pianeta, second comeback fight. Ahmed says, "Yeah, what's up, man? Yo, you should have started this earlier. I'm about to go to sleep." Hey, man, sorry, man. This is as early as I could get for today, but I'll promise you I'll try to do it more earlier tomorrow. But yeah, man, hey, I'm sorry, man. I know you want to chop it up, but if you're tired, man, no hard feelings. We'll catch up. We'll catch up tomorrow. All right. So anyhow, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That debate is what's having that debate? It has started debate right now. Frank Warren just did an interview today at the presser of the Windsor Park show that's going to take place in Belfast, Ireland. Carl Frampton is the headliner. He's fighting. What's the guy he's fighting? Let me look at it. Carl Frampton is fighting Luke Jackson, and then Christopher Rosales is defending his lightweight title against Patty Barnes. I don't know, man. Patty Barnes seems like an okay fighter to me, but I don't know if he's ready for Christopher Rosales right now. I mean, he had a somewhat of a good step up win over Alicia Casada, but other than that, I don't know. Christopher Rosales, are you going from Casada to Rosales? I don't know, man. Good luck to Patty Barnes. That just shows that Frank Warren will just match his guys up tough if he has to, even early on in their careers. And in all fairness, Eddie Hearn has done the same thing too. So let's give credit where credit is due. Yeah, no worries, bro. Hopefully this week, 2 a.m. over here, Doc. No time to speak. It was Doc said, "Yeah, keep up with the musicians time, man." Yeah, it's all good. I know. Hey, what up, young Merv, the Cup man? What's going on, man? Merv, I'm doing good, man. Just want to chop it up about this whole thing about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Fury had a press conference today. Not so quite eventful. Of course, Tyson Fury was making jokes, and he said that what, at this point, he's made some gestures that look, the fight's going to happen. Eddie Hearn could just shut it, whatever it wants, because he's upset because he's not involved in the promotion. This, that, and the third. Frank Warren came out and said, "Look, the deal is 99.99% done, or 99.9% done," meaning that little one fraction of that percent is if Tyson Fury could get past Francisco Pianeta, which he's suspected to do, and how good he looks against Pianeta. So that's the prerequisite, as you want to call it. Mr. Doc says, "Dan, when do you want to get a chance? What do you think about Rigo going to PBC Showtime?" Yeah, I heard something about that. I wanted to touch up on that. As of right now, that's a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed yet. So we'll see how that goes. If Rigondeaux does sign off to over to BBC brand, that'd be a good move for him, and he'll be able to. It'll be a financial move in a way because you have to look at Rigondeaux. He's getting old. He's close to 40, so he doesn't have much time left. Even though he hasn't really taken damage in his career, despite the loss of Lomachenko. But other than that, yeah, he really needs to make a financial decision here, and he hasn't really made that many big purses in his career. So going to PBC, Showtime, Al Heyman is definitely a good financial move for him. And we'll see what type of matchups that Al Heyman can do for Rigondeaux. Hey, he's got a lot of featherweights, so he could match him up against Alvarez. Hopefully, he can match him up against Leo Santa Cruz. That's a fight people wanted to see for a long time. Of course, Santa Cruz at featherweight. So Rigondeaux was going to have to move up from super bantamweight up to featherweight if that's what's it's going to take for him to get those bigger money fights, you know. So Young Merv says that I have a feeling Rigo would do that. He should have done that a long time ago. You know what, Young Merv? Here's the thing. He was supposed to sign with the PBC with Heyman before he made the transition over to Rock Nation. He was supposed to do it, but for some reason, that deal fell through. I don't know if it was bad. It was a dispute between his current management company, which is KRB Promotions, and Heyman. So there was some bit of disagreement between the two parties, and that's why they couldn't come up with a deal. And that's when Rigondeaux went over to Rock Nation. So that's the spiel on that. So anyhow, the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury thing seems to be inching a lot closer. This is actually resembles how Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua. That's how they announced their fight when there was ramblings about them coming to a deal, and this was leading up to Anthony Joshua's first title defense at the IBF crown against Eric Molina. So I see this is the sage scenario they're going with. They're going to have Wilder appear at the. He is confirmed to be there at Belfast. He is supposed to be in ringside. He'll be working with BT Sport to commentate. And I heard there's going to be some type of face-to-face confrontation with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So they're supposed to, of course, according to, if this is solid, they're supposed to announce the fight after Tyson Fury gets past. And that's if he gets past or he looks good against Francisco Pianeta. So that's what the rambling is. And to me, if Tyson Fury looks to be the guy that was the old Tyson Fury who beat guys like Derek Chisora, Christine Hammer, Steve Cunningham, and Vladimir Klitschko, then that's going to be a tough fight for Wilder at this point. I wouldn't go far to say 50-50, Mr. Doc. I would say if he does look good and he looks like he's back in the shape and that he's in his own form to some degree, then that's a 60-40 fight. So I still favor Wilder to do it, but I think it'll be a little bit tougher for him now, depending on how good Tyson Fury looks against Pianeta. So that's what I want to touch upon. And I'm going to bring some guys in here. We can chop it up about the Fury and Wilder fight, whatnot. And Mr. Doc says that I don't think that it's a 50-50 fight, but I don't understand all why some people don't want the fight to happen. When do boxing fans start hoping for the worst? You know what, Mr. Doc? We're gonna chop it up, and I'm gonna bring you on. I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I'm gonna point out the double standard here. Anthony Joshua, or not say Anthony Joshua himself, Eddie Hearn was trying so hard to lobby Tyson Fury to sign with Matchroom. Okay, it was a lucrative offer. Yes, let's be fair. But part of that offer, that deal is that Tyson Fury, if he had signed on the dotted line with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn was going to put him in there in very, 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 very tough matchups before the Joshua fight. He was going to put him in against Bellew. Then I think he was going to put him in against White. And then if he was successful in those two fights, then he has to fight Anthony Joshua. So Eddie Hearn wanted to put him in through the gauntlet before he get a shot at Joshua. And Fury said no. He turned that down. And so the people who are like upset that this fight more likely is going to happen between Wilder and Fury, they had no problem with Hearn trying to go Fury into going to tough matchups before the Joshua fight. They had no problem with that. But all of a sudden now is that when Deontay Wilder's all of a sudden now is going to pretty much secure the Tyson Fury fight before their guy, Anthony Joshua, is, they're going to crap all over it. And they have, let's be fair, though. I don't think that Tyson Fury should be going to Deontay Wilder fight uh, until I think he needs at least one more tune-up before he fights Deontay Wilder. That's what I believe. But if he feels if he really believes and genuinely believes that he's ready at the I can't even pronounce his last name, Pianeta fight, then by all means, all power to Tyson Fury, all power to him. But I think the main situation is that it's about that lineal championship. Bottom line, because they're upset that their guy Joshua is not going to get a crack at that lineal championship. And trust me, if Joshua would secure that fight and he had beaten Fury, then Deontay Wilder would have no room to negotiate at the negotiation table. This is what this is all about. They don't want him to get another name on his resume. They don't want him to have any type of leverage at the negotiation table against Anthony Joshua. That's what they're afraid of. And that's what they don't want to happen. Okay, so this is the double standard here on their part on why they don't want this fight to happen, because they're hoping it doesn't happen. I'm seeing videos, I'm seeing comments saying this fight's not going to happen. Believe me, this, that, and the third. We don't know that. It's getting closer. It's pretty much a done deal, but there are a couple more prerequisites, or actually one prerequisite, and that's on Saturday night, and see what happens from there. Okay, but it's still an interesting fight either way. It depends how good Tyson Fury looks against Pianeta. It's still an interesting fight, and this fight was 2 years long overdue. Or about 2.5 years long overdue. So, what's going on, Brooklyn Child? Yeah, I'll support the fight. I'll support any fight. In fact, even though I've been critical of Eddie Hearn, I'm critical of anybody that I see fit. I still support the zone, because I'm a boxing fan. I'm signed up for the mailing list, and I'm hoping to get some word on when that app is going to be available. But let's talk about the zone here, okay? I'm going to be very, very honest here, and I know some people are not going to like what I have to say here. I look at that fight card matchup on the zone. I'm going to bring it up for you guys right here, okay? I know Jessica McCaskill is going to be fighting on that card, which is a good thing. So I'm very I'm very cool about that. But the one thing I have to say though, looking at this card, you have Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Thomas Adamek. Jesus fucking Christ. All due respect, Thomas Adamek was a very good light heavyweight champion and a very good cruiserweight champion. But at heavyweight, his best win was against Chris Ariella, and that was a long, long time ago. Adamek looked old, and he looks completely shot. I mean, his last 7 fights, he's been 4-3. He's been knocked out already by Eric Molina. Okay, and he got knocked out bad by Molina, and that was a couple years ago. So that is a grossly mismatch between Big Baby Miller versus Adamek. All right. Then you have what's the other fight on that card? You have Jesse Vargas versus Thomas Delorme, the main event of that first card on there, on that design. I mean, Jesse Vargas, the main event. I mean, Delorme, his last fight, he lost, okay? And Delorme's not a bad fighter, but come on, man. I mean, is this the best that Eddie Hearn could do? I mean, look, I'm not trying to be extra critical, but this is not a good card. I'm just being honest. This is not a good card, and I understand you got to start somewhere. But the fact is that if you're trying to really tackle on the U.S. market, especially in the boxing landscape, this is not going to cut it. I'm sorry. Now, on paper, this looks like a bad card, but it could surprise us all. Who knows? There could be some good fights. Callum Johnson versus Albert Beterbiev. Now, that's an interesting fight. That's a championship fight, but the question is Callum Johnson really ready for the task? I mean, because Arthur Beterbiev is a monster, and on paper, he is supposed to slaughter this guy. So we'll see. That may be the fight of the night. We'll see, man. But I just don't know. This is a very bad card. I mean, yeah, look, Young Merv says, look, he said this card is lackluster. I'm not going to say it's trash, but damn. Yeah, it's just a bad card, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna go far as say it's trash, but it's a bad card. I mean, there are some good fighters on there, but if you're really trying to recoup the money that Eddie Hearn has received from the investment for the backers of the zone, this is not going to cut it. And we all know this is a 4-year deal with a 2-year option. So if he's going to put on cards like this and then they're not going to make a good return investment on it, then that relationship between Eddie Hearn and the backers of the zone may not last long. I'm just being honest. It may not last long if he's going to put on cards like this. And to get that job done, he's going to have to get those marquee names. He's going to have to get those Mikey Garcias. He's going to have to get the Earl Spence. He's going to have to get the Keith Thurmans, which is, I heard, rumored to be what's going on. And Danny Garcia heard there's a rumor that he might be able to close a deal on Danny Garcia if he gets past Sean Porter. That's what I heard. The Charlos, Deontay Wilder. And like it or not, I know some people are not going to like when I say this. Yes, perhaps dealing with Deontay Wilder with the AJ situation has been very, very, very depressing, I should say, at least, right? It's been very, very straining. But Eddie Hearn knows, he's a smart businessman himself. He knows that Deontay Wilder is a critical marquee name in the United States. And I'm not saying Deontay Wilder is a huge draw. No. I'm saying that he does have enough popularity. It's growing still, but he does have enough name to the point that you can invest into the guy and he can recoup some of your investment, especially if you're dealing with the zone. And that's why Eddie Hearn is really, really, I hate to say the word, desperate to get him to sign on to at least a couple fights so he can promote it. It gave him a big purse to do it. So that's what he's doing. And I'm hearing that he's upped the offer to Mikey Garcia, which is a very, very extremely good deal. So at this point, Eddie Hearn knows what he has to do. He's going to have to really start overpricing or overpay some of these marquee fighters. He's going to have to do it. And I know he said that he's looking to sign at least 2 marquee fighters. No. Based off what I've seen and based off his current roster, especially Matchroom USA, yeah, he's going to have to sign more than just 2 marquee fighters. He's going to have to do it. He's going to have to really start overpaying these guys if he thinks he can compete with HBO, Showtime, and those big giants. And trust me, those executives, they're not really going to be worried about that card or that roster that Eddie Hearn has put up. They're not worried about it. And to top it off, and some people haven't even talked about this, why is Eddie Hearn, from a marketing standpoint, this has been poorly rolled out? Because why in the world were you featured this card on the same night as Conor versus Khabib, one of the biggest UFC fights in history that's going to take place in 2 months? Why would you put that card on the same night that one's going down? I know people are going to say, but Dan, don't worry, the UFC has their own audience and boxing has its own audience too. I get that. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's amongst the hardcores. But you have to understand, in this market in the United States, combative sports is built based off popularity in a casual perspective. What I mean by that is that you got to have big names to appeal to the casuals. And the casuals are divided between the UFC and boxing. So if you're going to feature Conor McGregor, who is a polarizing figure, who is a huge, huge name, especially among the casuals, they're going to watch that fight. I hate to be honest. They're going to watch that fight. And that's just poor marketing strategy rollout by Eddie Hearn right there. He should have known better that you cannot put that card on the same night on the biggest UFC fight that's going to go down. One of the biggest. They said that's supposed to break records from the estimates. Okay? Why would you do that? Okay? Look, I really hope that the card does well. I hope it does get a nice nice size revenue from the return of investment that they're putting up for it. They're hosting it in Chicago, so that's probably why they have Automac on there, because in Chicago, they do have a big, big Polish population there. Andrew Galata had lived there at one point. Andrew Fafar, I'm not sure he still is based there, but Fafar had lived in Chicago at one point. So Eddie, and I like Eddie Hearn, but this is not the way you roll this out. I mean, you got to learn your lessons sometimes, but I'm sure he's learned his lesson the hard way by putting this card on. I'm going to be honest. I mean, yeah, That right there is yeah, that just very, very poor strategy. Um yeah, let me see, we'll go with the chat here. Brooklyn Child says I agree, but overall that card is trash. Mr. Doc says, yeah, but there are some intriguing fights at the least. Yeah, I mean there are some. I mean, I forgot the other one I forgot to announce. There's I think it's what's the other fight that's on that card? It's a WBA regular title bout. I think it's at featherweight. Yeah, or junior featherweight. Yeah, so it's super bantamweight regular title. Okay. Or I think that's the is it the regular title or the actual title? Danny Roman versus Gavin McDonald, who's Jamie McDonald's brother. I mean, look, I guess that's an interesting fight, but on paper it's not really spectacular. But we'll see. That may shock us all, especially guys who can't really punch. you know. So yeah, this is not good. I gotta be honest. That's not a good card. Will I watch it? Yes, but at the same time, I'll be definitely tuning into that UFC showdown between Khabib versus McGregor. That right there is the explosive fight, and that's a dangerous fight for Connor to get into, especially being out of the octagon for 2 years, for nearly 2 years, I should say. So yeah, that's a dangerous, dangerous fight. And I'm gonna tell you something about Dana White, man. He likes to match his fighters tough, man. He don't care who you are. If you're a big, big money maker, he's gonna put you in there against tough opponents. That's how he is, man. If you don't ask me, go ask Ronda Rousey. you know, but it is what it is. Mr. Doc says that I think it's obvious from the beginning that Eddie Hearn is trying to monopolize the heavyweight division and all the other promoters are trying to stop him. Well, yeah, from the looks of it, yeah, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to pull the Don King move, monopolize like, certain divisions, particularly with Don King. He had a lock on the heavyweight division for many, many years, many decades, go all the way back to the 70s. And I think he also had a lock on some other divisions too, like at the smaller divisions like at welterweight and at lightweight at one point. So yeah, Don King had a lock on several divisions, and Eddie Hearn is trying to replicate that type of success. Which hey, you can't fault him for that. Every promoter tries to have a strong, a stranglehold in one particular division. Like Ivan Michel, for example, he's got pretty much got a lock on the damn light heavyweight division. He's got 3 champions there, but he has a yeah, he's what you call it. Eddie is he's also rubbed people off the wrong way too. Because he's also said some disparaging things about a couple promoters. Especially, he's also said some things about Deontay Wilder. He's a guy from Alabama. He doesn't have the financial backers to get a certain amount of dollars to host a fight in the United States. So all these things, man. And now I'm hearing he's losing purse bids. I mean, yeah, we all know about the Kubrat Pulev and Dillian White situation. I also heard he lost to Maurice Hooker and the Alex Aceto purse bid to Top Rank. And Hooker just signed a deal. He's with Matchroom now. Well, it's a co-promotional deal between Rock Nation and I think it's between the Zone or Eddie Hearn. So with Matchroom, so there's a co-promotional deal. But he just lost one of his fighters who's fighting on the Zone is going to have to fight on a Top Rank card on ESPN. I don't know, man. And what, he lost another person to Miss M Reynolds? To who? Frank Warren, $20,000? Are you serious? Who did he lose it to? What fight was that? Mr. Doc says, I don't get why people get so deep into those politics. Yeah, why does Eddie Hearn does Eddie understand that the average American fan just don't watch boxing? Yeah, I think that's what I think that's what it is. And I've always said this before. And some people who may believe who doesn't really quite understand the US market very well. And I've said this many times, and you know this, Mr. Doc, that this is a market of casuals. The casual fan base overwhelmed the hardcore fan base, and that's the reason why the state of American boxing is in the state that it is right now. For many years, it's been built on mainstream stars. Plain and simple. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson captured the U.S. He was the guy because he was a fan of many casuals more than hardcores. That's a fact. Ray Leonard, those guys. I mean, Vander Holyfield to some degree. It's just like all those guys, man. It's like This boy Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, those guys, Roy Jones Jr., those guys were all big, big, big appeals to the casual public in the United States. And there were many casual fans, many of them. So it's just, I just think that Eddie kind of underestimated that a bit, which I agree, Mr. Doc. But like I said, there's lessons to be learned. Um, So he's going to have to go back to the drawing board. He's going to have to figure this out. And as I said, he's going to have to really, really up, up the price on some of these fighters that he's trying to lure into the Zone app. He's going to have to do it. And otherwise, if he doesn't do it, and he puts on cards like this in Chicago in October, this deal with the Zone may not last that long. I'm not trying to be funny here, but it may not if it goes this way. So let me see. Mr. Doc says they must have paid Conor Sayers money. McGregor should have retired after the Floyd fight. I mean, yeah, we've all should have thought he should have done. He got serious bank for that fight, but I don't know. He's still paying legal fees, all the shit that he's getting into. Young Murr says that something tells me that Eddie had an incomplete approach. Yeah, you know what? And to be fair, I think he may have studied the market. He thought he's got enough intel or research and development R&D on it, and he thought he completely understood what the demand is. But putting in completely, he quite didn't get the message by putting on a card like this, because this market is not built on hardcores like it is in the UK. In the UK, there's a big hardcore contingency or electorate over there. Oh, here in the States, there isn't. So you're going to have to appeal to the casuals. You're going to need those big, big names to make money. You're going to have to do it, So let me see. I think Eddie underestimated how bad the state of the boxing in America is. Other than the hardcores, it's a wasteland. Yeah, exactly my point, Mr. Doc. Excellent point. Ed Reynolds says the planned IBF featherweight elimination bout between Callahan and Toa Khan. Clarity on wobble of legs after Frank Warren. The only participant in the purse bid won an offer of $20,000. All right. I think, let me just say this. Eddie Hearn has said, and I'm going to be fair to him, he has said on several occasions that he's not going to put in, he's not going to put in that much dollars into purse bids if it doesn't make sense. Okay, if he feels that if you're a fighter that's not going to be worth the investment in a way, that he's not going to really work hard to outbid, against the other party. If you're his fighter, he's not going to do that. But at the same time, as a businessman, you're going to have to risk that investment. Sometimes you're going to have to take the risk, because why aren't you going to go out your way to outbid for your fighters like Dillian White, for example? I mean, Kid Gallahan, who's a somewhat of a little bit of a name in the UK, and you're losing purse bids on his behalf. Maurice Hooker, I know Maurice Hooker is not a known name in the United States, but at the same time, you're trying to get people to watch the Zone, to get those licensing fees, those TV broadcasting rights, and you're not putting the money up for it. So this is something he's going to have to rethink as well, as far as his purse bid strategies, because he can't go around and lose purse bids like this. Just can't do that. Yeah, you're losing to purse bids against unknown quantities like the Epic Sports in New York, and then you're losing the Top Rank, and now you're losing to Frank Warren. So I don't know what's going on here, man. I really don't know. This has not been quite a good week for him. But like I said, all promoters, all fighters are not going to have happy times all the time. So, Eddie be fine. He's got enough money in the bank. He's very wealthy, so he'll be fine, man. And like I said, I think I want him to succeed. I think he's a good guy, even though I do have some issues with his contradictions. But I think, the way it looks, he could be way over his head here when it comes to the U.S. market. So he's going to have to re-strategize, rethink his marketing strategy, and he's going to have to get those fighters, as I suggested, by putting up the money. He's going to have to do it, which he understands now. So, yeah. Let's see. Ralph on Real, what's happening, man? Ross Klott says that, let's be real, Kovalev was a bum. Why, man? How's Kovalev a bum? Let's see. The MOBC says so. Okay, fair enough. Mr. Doc says that so in the Floyd era, boxing got competitive viewership with the NFL, NBA. Stop it. No, no, I disagree with that. Let's be real. Yes, Floyd Mayweather was a draw, and the numbers were quite there while he was, fighting. But at the same time, nobody else was paying attention to no other fighter than Floyd Mayweather. That was just the way it is. Okay, he was the only, or Manny Pacquiao. Those are the only two fighters. And the fact is that the NFL and the NBA, you can't beat them on ratings. So that's not going to happen. It has to take one huge super fight to do that. Of course, that was Pacquiao versus Mayweather that would do it. But fights like that only come one in a dozen. Plain and simple. Young Murr says Adonis didn't want that smoke with Kovalev. Well, don't let low place catch you saying that. Yeah, hey Murr. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be fair on that. Adonis did duck the first fight, no question about it. He ran over to Showtime because he was trying to price himself out of that situation where they were trying to negotiate his deal with HBO, part of that three fight package. Okay, so but needless to say though, Kovalev and his team were offered purse bids to go ahead and take that fight with Stevenson on two or three different occasions, and they pulled out of it. So for the most part, yes, they ducked each other, but Kovalev was the one who was doing more of the ducking on Stevenson than Stevenson was doing the ducking on him. So let's be fair. Uh, to me, it's Manny Pacquiao who's the best of this era. Well, Ross Clark, I mean, there could be an argument made about that, yes. Uh, but truth be told, Floyd did beat him. And I know the argument is that, yeah, Floyd did wait a long time. He was waiting for him to slow down, which I would agree with you on. So, but and trust me, man, I don't like Floyd Mayweather. Trust me, I don't like the guy, on a personal level. But as a fighter, he was a good fighter, and he was what I have to say. He's probably the best of his era. He probably is. I probably put him. It is a toss up between him, Manny, Evander Holyfield, or Bernard Hopkins. So it's a toss up there. Perfect beats Ali. So does that make him better than Ali overall? Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. But here's the thing, Ross Clyde. Here's the thing. Hey, you're not gonna like when I say this, and trust me, I don't like Floyd Mayweather. But let me just say this: Floyd Mayweather was a unified champion. Was Manny Pacquiao a unified champion? No. Floyd was a multi-lineal champion. So was Manny Pacquiao, to be fair. Okay. Floyd has actually beat more world champions than Manny Pacquiao has. And how many catchweight fights has Manny Pacquiao had compared to Floyd Mayweather? We don't want to go there, right? So like I said, I don't like Floyd, but I think he's had more of the better win. Well, Pacquiao's had the more trilogy fights. Let's put it that way. I'll give you that. But Floyd, yeah, like I said, he did things that Manny didn't do. He's unified titles. He's won more titles. Okay. Yeah, the resume debate. I mean, yeah, that's going to be a debate that's going to happen in a while. But I think Floyd just outdid him. I hate to say it, slightly he did. I hate to say it, he did. I don't like the dude, but yeah, I'm just being real. He did. I mean, Diego Corrales, Jesus. You have Diego Corrales, Genaro Hernandez. Then you have Jose Luis Castillo. Then you have Zab Judah, Turo Gotti, Cuban punching bag. Okay, fair enough. I know that's a Hall of Fame win, but I never really rated Gotti as a good fighter. I'm just being honest. He was never a great fighter. Zab Judah. Then you have who else there? Oscar De La Hoya, Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez. I mean, Shane Mosley. Yeah, of course, Manny Pacquiao. Uh, Maidana, yeah, decent win. So Manny's got the Morales, victories. He's got the who else? He's got the Barrera wins. He's got the Marquez wins. Margarito, Mosley, Cotto. What else he has there? Plotty which was a good win. So yeah, those are decent wins right there. Bradley. So it's you know what, to be honest with you, it is a bit of a toss up based off their level of opposition. But if you want, I have to edge it to Floyd because Floyd's got he's got the unified championships on his belt. He did it in 2 divisions. Pacquiao hasn't done that, and that's an honest fact. You know, so and another thing too is that Floyd didn't really drain. He didn't use catchweights as often as Pacquiao did. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just keeping it real. So yeah, let's talk. Let's get on Mia St. John real quick, and then I'm gonna bring some guys on. But yeah, that is true. Lower Ross Clyde. Floyd did have some size advantages too, but at the same time, look who Marcos Maidana was a naturally bigger man than Floyd Mayweather. Let's be real. Canelo Alvarez was a naturally bigger man than Floyd Mayweather, right? The only thing I would say though is that Floyd Mayweather never fought guys who had the reach advantage over him. I think there was 1 or 2 guys, maybe 1, but he really didn't fight those guys who had the reach over him. Yeah, Mr. Doc says, and the fact that the 70s boxing was arguably the top of the sport in America. Yeah, absolutely. The 70s or maybe the 80s. Early 80s was boxing was the top sport pretty much. Yeah, so, yeah, excellent. Good point. That's a key, not the muscle. Yeah, true. So was Canelo and Cotto. Yeah, Cotto and Canelo were also, yeah, I mentioned Canelo. Cotto was also a naturally bigger man too. So, and Carlos Baldomir too, but even though Carlos Baldomir was never a great fighter, but Corrales had a longer reach, but your point is taken. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Merv. I thought Corrales had the longer reach. I thought about that. I thought he did, but I wasn't too sure. But yeah, like I said, they both had great careers. But as much as I don't like Floyd, and Ross Clot knows this, I gotta edge it to him as far as the resume department. I gotta do it. He's got the Hall of Fame wins and fair. Pacquiao's got it too, but it's just those catch weights and those unified championships. Those are the determining factor for me right there. So anyhow, let me talk about Mia St. John, okay? Because this has came up on the height of the Canelo and the Golovkin controversy over the PED tests, right? Mia St. John, if people don't follow women's boxing, you guys should know that Mia St. John is a former women's champion, former Playboy model, whatnot, before she became a fighter, whatnot. And, she came up in the late 90s, whatnot. She came out and made caused some bit of airways that she did. Yeah, Merv. She admitted to some PED use during her times during her career as a fighter. She said she did it. She used PEDs in 20 plus fights, but she will not identify or name the fights that she had tested. That she not tested, but she cheated in. She won't name those particular fights. But what she was trying to do is that she insinuated that she insinuated that many top level fighters in her profession, whether it's women or men, are all on PEDs. They just don't want to admit that. She said all of them are on it. And the reason why I have a problem why she's saying it now after all these years after she's retired is because she doesn't like the fact that Canelo Alvarez, which is her guy, she's a huge fan of Canelo. She doesn't like the fact that he's getting the short end of the stick when it comes to this PED situation. She feels that it's unjust that he's getting singled out here and why other fighters are attacking him when they themselves are using it. So that's what she's saying. But the fact is that's a very, very enormous claim for her to do that in a way. So, Mia St. John was a good fighter of her time. Never really had the power, but she did have the boxing skills. But the fact is for her to come out and tarnish her reputation just for Canelo Alvarez, I think that was not a good move for her to do that. Not a good move at all. Now she's just caused herself to be investigated. Her records could be vacated. So all this just to throw herself and maybe Canelo under the bus, which Mr. Doc suggests. I don't know, but like I said, she's doing all this because she's tired of people disrespecting Canelo. That's her guy. And look, I just don't, like I said, I don't think she's, she did it out of good faith. She did it because the timing of it is just so obvious that she doesn't want people to criticize Canelo to single him out for being a PED user. You know, that's the whole point of it. So Young Mer says, yeah, she has an angle. That's the low key shameful. Yeah, defending him in ways that implies she thinks he did it too. Yeah, I know I think she's trying to implicate Golovkin too in a way because she doesn't like the way Golovkin is coming at Canelo, the things he said about him about the PEDs, controversy and all that stuff. And she's also even came out and said that she used to change urine samples to falsify test results. I mean, she says other fighters do that too. So it's like, wow, she's like trying to give up all the bad, the insides, what's going on, with all these clinical tests, all that stuff. But yeah, but anyways, let me go ahead and bring some guys in. We can chop it up real quickly, and then I'll just call it a day or night. Still kind of early evening over here. Let's see. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, let's see. Jump in, people. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. One more. I should do it. There we go. So, yeah, I mean, let's see. Fury says Wilder coming over here because he knows where Daddy lives. Yeah. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. So, yeah, I mean, interesting stuff that's coming up this week. As far as Sergey Kovalev is concerned, I know Ross Klopp brought him up briefly. Does he have the heart to come back? Kathy Dewitt says that he tends to return. He's going to reclaim his title, but does that mean that he's going to take his immediate rematch over against Lydia Alvarez, which I think to me not a wise thing to do because he got badly knocked out and he was punished. And let's keep it real. I know some people say that Kovalev was controlling the fight, which I don't know what fight they were watching, but that man was getting punished in some of those rounds. Okay, he was getting hit with left jabs. Those jabs that Lydia Alvarez was throwing at him, it was rocking his head back, and he was getting hurt with those jabs. I know Ward was doing it, but Sergey Kovalev in those Ward fights with that jab, he really wasn't really giving a Ward much respect when he was throwing them. But with Lydia Alvarez, yeah, he showed the respect. He did. It was something he never got hit with before. And Lydia Alvarez was beating him up. He was quicker in the exchanges in the inside. He was stronger than Kovalev in the inside. So that's a fight I think Kovalev's going to have to rethink to take as a rematch. I'm just being honest. I think that's unwise for him to take that rematch. He's going to get hurt a lot worse than in that fight against Alvarez. I'll just keep it real. I really don't think he has it. He just doesn't have much left. I mean, the only thing I can say for him at this point is that he could take a couple more fights and then call it a career. But I think he's done. I'm just being honest. I think he's done. I wish I could come in today, but I'm at work. It will be an honor in the future, though, man. Yeah. No problem, Merv. No problem, man. Yeah, let me know whenever you want to come on. We can get you on. It was tit for tat, but Kovalev wasn't good in control. Yeah, exactly. It was still a competitive fight. You could stretch and say it was an even fight up to the seventh round, which I had Kovalev winning that round before he got stopped. But to me, I thought Alvarez had won most of those rounds. I thought he was winning at 4-2. I didn't say Alvarez was dominating the fight, but I think that people to suggest that Kovalev was controlling that fight, like Kathy Dumas says, all of a sudden it just miraculously he got knocked out. That's not being honest here. Let's be real. The man was getting beat up in those first 6 rounds. He knows it. He was getting beat up. Mr. Doc, what's going on, man?
Kathy Duva might be more delusional than Kovalev. Can you hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Mr. Doc.
Yo. Here, I'll drop out.
Can you hear me, Mr. Doc?
Yeah, I'll drop out and jump back in.
Hello? Oh, well. He'll come back. Mr. Doc,
yo.
Are you there?
Yo.
Hello?
Yo. Can you hear me?
Hello? Mr. Doc?
One sec.
Hello? Turn up your volume.
Can you hear me?
Can I hear you, buddy?
Yo.
Hello?
What is going on here? Oh, I think
you might want to come back in and come back out because I'm not getting nothing from you, man. Let's see.
Hello.
What in the world? As usual, you could hear both of us, but I couldn't even hear him. That's very odd. All right, cool. All right, Merv. All right, cool. Okuba, what's going on? Yo. What's happening? That's very odd. I couldn't even hear the guy. Let me adjust this. All right, let's try this.
Yo. Can you hear me now?
All right, let's try it, Mr. Doc. We'll try it one more time.
No?
Mr. Doc, are you there?
Can you hear me? Are you kidding me? Yo.
Wow. That's unusual.
Yeah, I know. How about now?
Hold on.
Yo, is that any better?
Why can't I hear him on my Hangout?
What the
That's
heck?
very weird.
That is very weird.
Let me try something here.
Are they hearing me in the thing?
All right, let's try this. All right, let me try to unmute you. All right.
What's up
now?
Yo, check. Well, that's frustrating as fuck.
All right, let's see. Very odd.
Very odd.
Okay, let me see. We'll try to fix this. Okay, let me see. I can hear that. I can hear myself now. I think I fixed it. Let's try this again. All right. Okay. Now I think it's fixed. Mr. Doc, if you're hearing me, come on back in, man. I think I got you. Come on back in, bud. All right. So let's see. Anyhow, yeah. So let's see. There you are.
Nothing?
I got you now.
All right. Fine. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, that's very odd. Yeah. So what's up, man?
Not a whole lot. Just trying to beat this heat.
I hear you, man. It's very hot over here too. Over here in the west coast of the Cal. Yeah. So yeah, man. Good, interesting stuff coming up, man. So Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. How do you see that? What's your take on that one, man?
Well, like I said, I think Fury's going to sleep, but I'm not one of these people that's got a problem with it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I don't want, you know what I mean? I don't want that to be the case. I don't get, how, you know what I mean? I don't get some of this, like I said, hoping for the worst that seems to be going on.
Right, right. I mean, look, let's just hope Fury's ready. You know what I mean? That's up to him. We have to see what judging his performance.
Yes, yes. If it's a classic, good. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not hoping for it to be a shitty fight. That's what I don't get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not hoping for that either.
There's a difference between if you ask me, Doc, what do you expect, and what do you hope for? I don't get some people. I don't know.
Yeah.
maybe I just compartmentalize stuff more than most people. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that may be the point here, but look, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. It's an intriguing fight. Yes, on paper, Deontay Wilder is expect to get through Tyson Fury, but depending on this how he looks against Pianetta, if some of his own form is came back from his previous fights, other than the Safiri fight, obviously, then I would have to say it could be a 60-40 fight in favor of Wilder. I think it's going to get much tougher if the way it depends how he looks against Pianetta. So,
Yeah. Well,
I
the one thing that, in terms of, regardless of whether it's a good fight or not, I do think there's a good chance it will draw well because,
right,
in a way, the the horrid state of American boxing plays into its hands because, I mean, like I mentioned the other day, uh, look, I mean, the biggest selling fight in recent times was what? Floyd and Connor, and what was more one sided going in. And we all knew what was going to happen there. I think Fury's got a way better chance than Connor did.
yeah, I agree. I think he does. I think he does. But you know what though? What's interesting about this is that this fight is you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought I lost you. Yeah. What's interesting is that the Showtime's actually got enough money in their budget now that they're going to host a couple of pay-per-views at the end of this year. So the Wilder Fury fight is supposed to be one of their first pay-per-views. They're going to bring back since what? A non-Floyd pay-per-view, I should say. I know they had the McGregor and Floyd, but the first non-Floyd pay-per-view bout since Canelo versus what's in Navarre, and that was what 4 years ago. So
Oh wow, at least 4 years ago. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that'll be their first Floyd pay-per-view they've had. So so basically since then, so Wilder versus Fury is going to headline it. It's going to be in Vegas. So the only thing they have to do now is for Fury to get to Pianetta. The fight is be set between is either November 10th or November 17th. So it's one of those days.
Yeah, I say, it better that it happens than not. I'll say that much. You know what I mean? Regardless of
And
what I think of Fury's odds.
yeah, and here's the thing though, November is enough time because he will have enough time to prepare. If he going through the Pianetta fight, if it gets
Now,
announced that I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Well, like I mean, there's, obviously, I'd have preferred to have seen him fight somebody significant, like, and I agree with the point some have made that, hey, why not have him fight Luis Ortiz? I mean, that would have been I hadn't even really thought about that. That actually would be really, really intriguing.
With Tyson Fury and Luis Ortiz.
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean. We get what we get with boxing.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these people that has this delusion. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna somehow come in and change. You know what I mean? The mechanics of things.
Right, right, right. Well, I mean, it happens, man. So let's see. Oh, boxing is me is in the chat says, hey, talk about Canelo versus Spence. Yeah, I heard the rumor about that one. Oscar De La Hoya said that he's thinking about putting that fight on the table. What I mean, Canelo versus Spence. So Canelo's going to go up to. I mean, Spence is going to go up to middleweight. If I Canelo, I mean, he is a damn big welterweight. So, what do you think about that one ever happening?
Well, again, obviously, I'd watch it and I'd hope for the best. I don't know. I think that'd be a pretty good fight. I think it'd be. It certainly wouldn't be boring. It certainly wouldn't be boring, however long it lasted either way.
No,
I really don't. You know what? I really don't know. I got to see what Canelo looks like in the Golovkin rematch.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I'd like to see, Spence fight some more, not notable even, but just opposition with some pushback.
Right. Something that's more stiff competition in a way. Right now he's got, like I said, these Ocampos, which is his mandatory, which you can't fault him for that. Peterson, obviously, a natural light welterweight. Brooke, who already suffered a big, a terrible knockout, lost to Gennady Golovkin. I mean, before that, you had Algieri and you had Bundu, those guys. He definitely.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad. No, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad.
Here comes Low Place. Yeah. Low Place, we weren't trashing his source of bank. Relax, Low Place. What's
up?
He mad now? No, we ain't trashing Spence, man. I'm just saying that
I haven't been listening. I don't even know. I just clicked the link, man.
I figured that. I'm laughing because your timing. You showed up right in the middle of we're talking about Canelo and Spence.
I don't want to see that fight. I want to see the.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
why not?
I want to hear what Low Place thinks of Canelo versus Spence, but break it down. Like, what do you? If it happens,
how do you see that fight? I want to see Canelo
fight. But tell us why.
Fight welterweights. I mean, it's just that's how it should be. I'm sick of it.
You don't think it'd be a good fight then? You think Canelo knocks him out or what?
It's just enough of these. I don't know, man. Possibly a good fight. Canelo's not overly impressive, but at the end of the day, he's a damn middleweight. He's supposed to be the middleweight lineal champion, supposedly. And you want to fight welterweights, and Spence is supposed to be fighting a 35 guy. This is just getting on my damn nerves. All of it just is ignorant.
Now I got a question. Well, wait. I got a question for you, Dan, because you're more of a historian than me.
Okay.
I think there's possibly a misconception on Low Place's part that historically guys moving up were more successful. You know what I mean? Because we got obvious glaring examples we could talk about all the time, like Durant, etc. But I'm pretty sure, but correct me if I'm wrong, that most of the time the guys moving up got the crap beat out of them like Napoli's did against Monzon, for example.
Well, let's be real. I think, and I could be right here, that most guys who moved up in between weights become multi-champions have become more successful than guys who stayed in one weight and rebuilt legacies,
No, what I'm saying, though, is the majority of guys that tried it didn't succeed.
There's some guys,
but
most got beat up.
Yeah, exactly. It's not most. Yeah, exactly. So what I'm getting at is it's normal, Low Place, that guys moving up get beat up.
It's normal. It's not
that we get a Roberto Duran. That's why I for me anyway. Why
we could go
great in my mind. There's all kinds of examples.
Let's be real. Let's be real, Mr. Doc. Sam Langford was a career lightweight. Okay, this man went up there and knocked out heavyweights, and he's considered one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
Yeah, see, that's like exactly that should. He stands. He's an exception to the exception to the exception.
Right. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson is a career lightweight. Okay, this man's looked at one of the greatest middleweights of all time. So,
and that's why these people were great. Is because most people, when they try it, like look, Jose Napoli's, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the great welterweights, right?
Yeah,
exactly. He tried it. What happened? He got beat up. So
by Monzon. Yeah,
exactly. Donald Curry tried to move it up, got beat up. So
no, Donald Curry tried to go after Marvin Hagler. He was trying to jump all the way from welterweight to Hagler, and some people wanted to see that fight because they thought Curry could do it, but Leonard kind of got intervened and said, "Nah, let me get Hagler because I think it's the time for me to get him, not you."
Yeah, everybody talking about that. That was very
about that. Yeah, but hey, Kuma's in the chat. He says Spence is tailor made for people like Canelo. I dare Spence to go up there and fight him in the pocket because Canelo will counter him with punches like he never felt before.
Yeah, if Khan can go
By
6 rounds, you would think Spence could be able to go at least 10. So I don't know about just tailor made. Like you got to remember that Canelo did let Khan sit in there for 6 damn rounds, bro. So a durable guy, you got to think he goes a little higher. But as far as the points of like you said, Ray Leonard being there, he was at 40, 47 for a while, floating around that weight for what, about 6, 7 years, if not long. What? No, probably about 4 to 5 years. Like I want to see Spence floating around that weight, fighting the best people for it. I like to see that. I'm not saying people got to stay at a division 10 years, but he ain't cleaned up welterweight.
He did fight at
leave welterweight. They're gonna talk about you. They're gonna say, oh, he left this division. He didn't clean this up. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. And at the end of the day, Canelo.
No, I get all that. I understand that, Lopez. I just was pointing out to you that it shouldn't be alarming to you, right? That the majority of the time when guys like Rigondeaux or if Mikey Garcia tries it, if he gets beat up, that's normal. You know what I mean? It's not. It's nothing to do. It's nothing to do with. It's not.
But let me. It's funny you brought this up. Oh wait, what up, Mr. Doc?
I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, again, Dan. It's like again, you know what I mean. I don't think they were any more successful historically. We just have them documented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's put it this way. It's funny you brought up Mikey Garcia because I want to ask Lo this question. If Mikey Garcia got up there, which more likely is going to be a pay-per-view fight, he's going to fight Earl Spence. If Spence beats him, will you give Spence credit for that win?
No, it's a waste of our time. It's once again a waste of
our time. Come on. Will you give him credit for that win?
What's the credit to do? I know who he is. He beat Kell Brooks.
He beat a multi-division champion, a lineal champion, pound for pound fighter. You won't give Spence credit for that win? Okay, so you can't say whether you give him credit.
No, I don't like that fight. It's a worthless fight. We know better. But the only thing in that fight is the Spence and Crawford rivalry come into play. That's the only thing, because Crawford and Mikey Garcia was looked at to be a big 140-pound, 35-pound showdown, and it's like the Pacquiao Mayweather Marquez thing. Mayweather Marquez only is credible because you see how easily Mayweather dealt with him compared to his rival dealing with.
I got a question.
Hold on, Mr. Doc, hold on.
Go ahead.
Wait, Terrence Crawford is a naturally small guy compared to Earl Spence. But if he beats Crawford, but he gets credit, but you can't say that if he beats Garcia, he gets credit.
Crawford's at welterweight. Crawford is at welterweight.
I understand that. He's a natural lightweight, bro. What are you talking about?
Not only is Crawford at welterweight fighting, Crawford campaigned at 140, where Mikey Garcia said, "I fought at 140. It's too big for me," and he left. So it's a huge. No, it's not a credible win for Earl Spence.
Crawford, in my opinion, the better argument is that Crawford's done something, albeit beating Jeff Warren, but he's done something at least at welterweight. Mikey's done nothing.
That's true. I get that point.
He won't do nothing. Absolutely.
Now I got a question for you, Lo. Now, it just hypothetical here. If Mikey had consistently reigned for like 5 years at lightweight or 140. Would that make your perception of the fight different? You know what I mean? Like, kind of like how Duran he reigned at lightweight.
It'll be a one-weight jump. It'll be a one-weight class jump.
Well, I mean, does the fighter, you know, like I said, having like a reign like that in a weight class make a difference?
His reign wouldn't make him any better, but it'll be more credible because it is one weight class jump. I mean, that's the norm to what we do. That's the norm today. We're making it abnormal. As many people jumping up 2 weight classes foolishly and losing. But yeah, it would be more credible because of that, but he still wouldn't win the fight. Earl Spence is just not going to lose.
Now the counterpoint, you know that the counterpoint there though, Lo, is that originally there was only 8 weight classes. So like when Duran, I think there was light welter, but it wasn't really highly regarded when Duran was moving up.
Exactly.
So I mean, so those guys did move up what would be 2 weight classes today. Like Napoli's went from welter to middle.
Just bigger, stronger fighters today, man. They kind of need them. It's certain guys that can make these jumps. We don't like it, but Tony Bell, you made a significant jump, 25 pounds. There's certain guys that can do these things. But it's not something that
I disagree. I don't think it's any more rare now than it ever was. I think most of the time guys moving up got beat up. Back in Langford's time, in Napoli's time, in Leonard's time, and now.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Hey, Mr. Day. Hey, some of the guys in the chat low say that they don't believe you believe in Spence that he can beat Canelo. That's the reason why you're objected to him going up there in the middleweight and
Well,
try.
I don't think Mikey Garcia can beat. I don't think Mikey Garcia can beat Spence. Well, I guess
I
that
understand
would. I
that.
don't know. I
I
don't.
understand.
They're trying
I
to say
understand.
it's a bias or something. I just don't like.
No, no,
I
no.
don't like two weight class jumps.
I'm genuinely curious. Who would you say has a better chance stylistically?
Canelo. Spence is easily the more competitive fight. Mikey Garcia got no chance. Literally, he got no chance.
He's got.
I don't know. You asked,
Yeah.
I'm always, maybe it's old age, but I'm hesitant to say none in boxing nowadays.
Yeah.
None.
I've seen a lot, dude. I've seen a lot of
I've seen many people.
I had no chance. Same with old boy. No chance, man.
Yeah, I'm sure people said Jeff Horn had no chance against Manny Pacquiao, which I thought. And
Bigger, younger man. He's a bigger, younger man. Jeff Horn was the
come
bigger, younger, fresher man. I told him he had a chance.
Hey, we talked about this the other day, though. Boxing logic tells us that Golovkin shouldn't have a chance in the rematch against Cannoli. He's the old ass dude. He should be getting knocked out.
Canelo gives everybody a chance, man. Canelo, he's lost to a 37-year-old welterweight.
I know, but I'm saying boxing logic is boxing logic for a reason, but there's also the word exception for a reason.
Hey, yeah. Kuma sections in the chat says I give Mikey more of a chance than Spence.
Like Canelo might be, the heavier set dude, but he's kind of like Sean Porter. He's not, you know what I mean? He's stocky. He's not tall.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, rumor mills that Danny Garcia may be signing a $10 million deal with Eddie Hearn in the Zone app if he gets past Porter. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Told Ness he had no deal. He hadn't heard from him at all. Said he ain't heard nothing from Eddie, and he said if Al Heyman made that call, he know Al Heyman would do the best for him. So, but he ain't heard anything from Eddie Hearn. So
I'd be more interested and care more about who they'd be talking about having him fight.
Right.
Vargas. So far.
Jesse Vargas, that guy. Okay. Okay.
You know what? There's some intrigue there because both of those guys are just fucking amazing when it comes to judges' scorecards. Vargas and Danny Gift. They really are. So there would be some intrigue there, man, if that goes the distance.
Well, I mean, I think this fight goes the distance. I think Danny's going to outpoint Sean Porter just a bit. I think he is, man. I know he's getting a lot of flack for his opposition after the Herrera fight, the Mauricio Herrera fight. Some people like myself was like, you know what? I don't think this man's got confidence anymore. He's lost his confidence after that fight. And he's been very, very careful who he wanted to fight as of late. But Sean Porter fight, you know what? He is taking on a guy he is still dangerous at welterweight. So this is a dangerous fight for him to take on.
I think stylistically, I think it's a very dangerous fight.
Yeah, it's a dangerous fight for him. And if he does win it, all props to Danny Garcia, man. He does, he fought Keith Thurman, losing effort too. So he's been taking on some good opposition at welterweight. It's not all bad. But like I said, after the Herrera fight, I thought he lost a sense of confidence. He's got it back after the Thurman fights.
Yeah.
The Thurman fight.
I mean, everybody knows I don't really think very much of Danny Gift, but there's no getting around it. He's been in a lot of good names. He's got a very solid, very good resume. Very good.
He's got a very good resume. No question.
I want to see that winner fight Spence. That's who needs to fight Spence, and then we need to continue to sow that division. I'm tired of breaking up. I mean, why would we break up a strong division so Canelo doesn't have to fight a guy in his division where it's a strong division? Boxing fans push the dumbest shit. We do it all the time. We hurt ourselves over and over again. And I
tell you, Spence needs to fight. He need to fight Crawford.
Maybe so. They can make the fight. They can make the fight.
You know, I think that might be kind of, as I alluded to earlier, part of where it comes from. The place is the fact that, especially, I mean, modern boxing fans, they know what we're not going to get.
So it's kind of
like,
nah, man.
Well, there's that too. I'm talking about the reasonable people. I think a lot of them kind of just embrace whatever is presented. It looks reasonably interesting because we just don't get interesting matchups like we used to.
What happens with Spence's career? He said, okay, if you beat Canelo, first and foremost, you a unified champion at 160 now. Seeing if he beat Triple G, that's the only way they make a big fight next. Or well, maybe they not. They lose and say, okay, we're fighting the welterweight. So possibly you're the unified champion, or possibly, and that's a division where you don't fight. And you're probably not going to fight a Jamal Charlo, all these other guys. You only went for the money fight. That's what Spence been saying all along. He would go up for the money fight and the money fight alone. You put yourself in the odd position.
I can only I don't think much of him either. But if nothing else, you got to concede Canoli's a money fight, especially in North America. I mean, yeah. Who's a bigger fight than him in North America right now?
Canelo will be fighting Crawford before we know it, man. He get the man.
I told you I don't much care for Canelo, but it wouldn't surprise me. But
I'm not joking. Like I literally if boxing if Canelo just left tomorrow, I ain't gonna complain.
Who draws remotely like him in North America?
I understand that. I mean, I don't think I see none of those funds, but if I did, I'd definitely probably be playing it the way they plan it. But as far as entertainment and sewing up division, he's the biggest hurdle. He's the biggest hurdle. This dude, he'll be fighting fucking Mikey Garcia next. That'll be his fight next.
I'm not gonna put it past him. And this is the guy that immediately dismissed the lottery, man. Oh, fuck you, Canoli.
Well, we'll see about that, man. We'll see how that plays out. Let's see if Golden Boy is really, really, really keen on trying to make that fight as they say they are.
Well, but and how much of that is Fishnet's just reaching its straws?
I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to not fight those big middleweights right now, other than Triple G. After that fight, they're like, okay, let's get some of these smaller names to come up and wait, and we'll give them a big payday.
It's the same guy to try to sign them to a 3-4 fight deal to fight Cotto. It's two things. It's that they don't want to fight the real middleweights with Canelo. Exposure come real soon. He won't win fights clearly. Earl Spence will be, you could say, oh, sign with us. You take some from Heyman. Oscar doing this to throw it. He throwing out bait, and the people that want Earl to be a big name, they catching and they running with it. But they at the same time they ruining what he could be at welter. He could be his own star at welterweight. He don't need Canelo to be a star. That's what people don't see. He can do that in 2 years from now. 2-3 years from now.
The common thing, the theme that you've touched on here, I think that's kind of running through the whole sport, though, is the decline in top 10, top 20 guys within the same division fighting each other. It does seem, I have to agree with kind of what if you're not saying you're kind of implying that it's becoming more, easy for guys to make fights moving up or down in weight than it is to make good big fights within their own division.
I just want to see Spence winning Danny Garcia Porter. They said Thurman's going to come back on the Spence undercard.
I mean, but look, we all
put those in New York, and we got a welterweight star.
We all want to see Spence versus Crawford, but in a vacuum, I got to be honest. The Canelo fight's probably more. I don't want to say likely, but you know what I mean. Of the two, I'd say that one's easier to happen, or more likely to happen if they try.
I don't even bother talking Spence Crawford. I don't even bother.
That's what I'm saying. The Canelo fight's more realistic.
But you know what? The fights that are super realistic, the Sean Porter, the Keith Thurman in New York.
But is it realistic? But is it realistic, Low Place? Is it realistic? You know what I mean? Do we really think
20,000 people for
no? But what I said, this goes back to what I said earlier with the difference between what I hope for and what I expect. I'm talking about what I expect. Do we really expect Ho Time or Danny Gift to fight Spence?
Yeah, I do. I truly do.
No. That's not gonna happen.
That's a hope. No place. You're that's hope you're talking there, bro.
They're gonna put him on pay-per-view and force him to fight. That's gonna be their first pay-per-view fight. Say, this is who we want you to fight on pay-per-view. That's all. I think the fight happens.
Well, we all know Wilder and Fury is gonna be the first Showtime pay-per-view.
No, for the welter. I'm saying for the welterweights. For the
for the
welterweights.
welterweight. Oh, for the welterweights. All
And
right.
then, and then
But
you determine.
is that a bigger payday than the Mikey fight? I'm not so sure. I think the Mikey
No.
fight might be more likely or more realistic, whichever term you want to use, than
Yeah,
than the
that's
winner of Porter
more.
Garcia.
Well, here's the thing. Mikey Garcia is pretty much a decent draw, so he draws more money than those guys. Of course, Spence is
Yeah,
going
it's
to
gonna
take
be
that
the
fight
bigger.
for the money.
Yeah,
He's going to take that fight for the money. Let's be real. And if he does get lured
just like Canola's
gonna-
bigger money than Crawford.
yeah, he's going to be lured to those fights. Let's be real. And I will give Spence credit for both fights if he beat him. I will. Let's be real. And as far as the Canelo fight, I don't know, man. I might have to favor Canelo to beat him in that fight. Now, as far as the Mikey Garcia, I'm definitely going with Spence on that one. But look, man, the fight is that we have always had guys. It's been done in history. Guys moving up in weight, or moving down in weight to fight other guys. It's happened before. It's nothing new. I understand weight classes got to be respected, but that just is the way it is, man. It's it's nothing new, but.
Like I was saying earlier, Mike McCallum got avoided like the plague. Like the plague.
Yeah, you got avoided by the plague. Yeah, but let's be real. Yeah, let's be real. Mike McCall didn't fight Michael Nunn. He avoided him. So,
Let Tony handle that, you could argue, yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true. But the fact is that it happens, man. But speaking of the zone, man, the first fight card. Oh man, I know I covered this earlier on, man.
The point of intrigue to me is I agree with, I can't remember who in the chat there. The better be Callum Johnson, because no matter whatever we may think of Callum Johnson, he is the least bad opponent Better Beeves ever faced.
I mean, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, there is a couple of interesting fights, but that's just not a good fight.
I'd say potentially interesting. For sure interesting. Like I said, we're hardcore fans, so we're more than likely going to watch. You know what I mean? Even if it's after the fact. But
no matter what happens in that fight, well, win for Johnson, a rematch in that fight, it won't really shake the division up. It'll just be a thing between them. We'll have to wait a year to see what that win for Johnson pans out to. Sure, there's some kind of rematch clause in there for that Beterbiev with that new deal and everything they're doing. I really don't. I don't know. I don't like the path he's taking on Dazn by himself. I don't know. Like Eddie Hearn could put up the money to get Alvarez, Stevenson away from Showtime potentially. Those guys don't got big pull on Showtime no more. So hey, maybe so. I don't know. Badu Jack get a big date over there.
But Better Be correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. Better Be's been trying to get out of his deal with who is it, Yvonne Michelle in it for a long time.
He's still
everything. So
he went to court. Yeah, he went to court and lost that case. Yeah, he lost that case, so he's locked into it for another 2 years.
So I would guess that would probably be part of his motivation to signing with Eddie or agreeing to the deal with Eddie.
I don't think he's gonna lose that case from the go. My sources were telling me it don't look good for him. He's wasting his time, and and you see it. He's appealed it again. So I don't know. Yvonne Michelle doing something with Eddie in the zone, so maybe they could put up that money. But I don't like the maybe stuff in boxing, man. It gets upsetting and be like, okay, maybe this, maybe that.
That's why I kept saying that they really should have tried to push that World Boxing Super Series over here, because the biggest thing there is what we're getting. It's scheduled, you know what I mean, weeks if not months ahead of time. We know that if this guy beats this guy, he's fighting that guy. You know what I mean?
That works, man.
That's the kind of structure the casual American sports fan is used to.
Network's poop on all that. Network's too strong over here. Stronghold. Yeah, ESPN, HBO, Showtime, DAZN now. Like
I can't believe none of them picked it up like that. It was really kind of surprising.
It would be so weak. It would be like two dudes in it potentially. Like. It'll be weak.
No. I don't mean having the cards. I mean, I'm surprised that nobody over here carried it in terms of like a network.
Depending on if you're talking about the classes that's there, like the 18, yeah, they could have easily got rights to that. But I'm sure they was just like, no, thank you. we ain't trying to sell those guys. What those guys gonna bring? We trying to get.
Well, that's the thing though, Lopez. It's not the fighters. I agree, individually aren't going to be appealing, but the structure is going to be way more appealing to the average American sports fan than what boxing usually does.
You try to put
which is like you said, give us a whole lot of maybe.
You try to put a World Boxing Super Series at a 160 or 175. Oh, that shit would be trash. We'd be like, yo, it's no need to watch it. You know who the final two, but it'd be trash.
Yeah, but I think after if you do 2 or 3 seasons of that, I think it would start to pick up viewership because of the regularity.
I think the WBSS, since it's on the zone, they need to come to the heavyweight division. I think that's what's going to bring in ratings if they can bring it on there. I mean, get heavyweights involved because I heard that
you were speculating. We were all kind of speculating. What's Eddie? What is Eddie? What is the play he's trying to hold back for? And I think that probably right there would be it. If he's gonna, if he's gonna hold on to his money and wait to kind of push it all into, on one thing, it would be that because that like went back to. I mean, this is just boxing promoter 101. Of course, he's trying to monopolize the heavyweights. All the promoters, you know what I mean? If they have the opportunity, are going to try.
In the world, bro. You got the 2 best ones in the world, man. Y'all better watch out. Dillian coming for that money, man. Dillian might be the best heavyweight in Britain before you know it in the whole world.
But yeah, a heavyweight World Boxing Super Series, that would be awesome. And that would also that's the division that even without necessarily a big name might get some casual observers because it's the heavyweights.
I think Canelo Jacobs. He said Canelo Jacobs won't take the money. Jacobs tried to outprice himself, and they told him sit down, man. You can't try to run Jacobs, man. Jacobs is a tough deal, man. Y'all seen what Golovkin was going through? Jacobs was mandatory.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Is Eddie really tougher to deal with outside of this whole AJ Wilder fiasco? Is he really tougher to deal with than friggin' Tommy Boy?
No, I don't think like Jacobs and Derevyanchenko got an odd situation going on. Go listen to how that broke down. How Derevyanchenko lost so much money because Jacobs and HBO was just like, nah, we ain't doing nothing but the Jacobs way.
I don't care about what they get paid though.
Yeah, Jacobs is tough to deal with, man. Golovkin went through hell to just make a mandatory fight. Canelo not.
Well, that's because fucking Tommy Boy's a cheap ass. When you fight Canelo, you get paid, man.
Yeah, exactly. He was trying to be cheap in that situation. He was trying so hard to make sure Jacob got no more than 25%. And Jacobs. Hold on. Hold up. Jacobs was like, all right, I'll accept the 25%, but the fight's going to happen in my terms. Watch. I'm going to get some bigger backers to outbid you guys. And that was going to happen. When Showtime said they're going to get involved in the first bid, that's when HBO told Lofner and K2 at the time, oh, no, you guys, we don't have that much money in the budget to outbid a Showtime here. So you'll have to work out a deal with Jacobs.
Well, not to mention at the time, everybody, including me, you can probably find me somewhere, dig it up and listen. Everybody was saying this is if not the first, the most legitimate opponent Golovkin's faced by far.
Man, Jacobs was trying to
and that was so. And they were still trying to do it on the cheap.
No, they were.
And it was the first. That was the first fight. That was the first. That was the first Golovkin fight. I've said this for the longest time. That was the first Golovkin fight where Golovkin had a live opponent, in my view, that had a chance to win.
Jacob, he was stealing them belts, Doc. He was trying to. They were trying to say, we ain't going over to Showtime and drop one of them belts, and Jacob just get to do his own little dog and pony show with this belt.
Yeah, I get all that, but the up and all of it is friggin' cheap ass Tommy Boy almost screwed us out of what I think is a modern middleweight classic. That was a fantastic fight.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's a good point there, but like I said, I think. I think that whatever comes out of this, man, all these fighters and these promoters, they need to work something out, man. Plain and simple. Well, let's talk about this Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury thing. I know this has been a hot topic over the week, which I'm happy about because we don't have to talk about AJ and Deontay and Wilder, So Fight's about to be closer. Frank Warren says it's 99.9% done. Of course, the only hurdle left is for Tyson Fury to get past Pianetta, or how good he looks against Pianetta. Then Wilder is confirmed to be there. He'll be at ringside. He'll be working with BT Sport to cover the fight, to commentate the fight. So we will, but we'll see though. We'll see how it goes.
A fight could be better than people think, man. Fury, take it serious. I ain't gonna be a negative. I'm not gonna be negative about it. I'm going to definitely assess the next performance. What is it? A week from now?
Yeah, it's coming up this week, Saturday.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. Assess that performance, and if the feet look good, timing look that, I ain't gonna be so harsh on the fight. But I'm hoping. I mean, a boxing fan, you hoping you'll get a good fight. But I mean, Wilder going over there, it really don't do nothing for me. It's just, hey, I'm ready to see what Fury's the most important thing here. Like nothing can save him except himself in this joint. You cannot look like you looked in that last fight and expect people to be. I don't know. Eventually, getting close to the fight, you might pull in and say, "Uh-oh, man, he might turn it around. He might do it." But this fight right here is gonna be some backlash initially, quick, fast, and hairy, and that might throw off the Wilder fight if this man don't look impressed.
Yeah. Well, we'll see then. We'll see how it goes.
40 million on the table. That's what they say making 40. Somebody can make 40 million.
Well, according to the rumor mill, the Wilder's getting a guaranteed $15 million plus back end money behind that. So he's getting a percent of the revenue, which is pay-per-view revenue shares plus a gate revenue percentage of that. And Fury's getting 10 million, but plus licensing fee elsewhere, and plus he's getting some percentage of the revenue as well. So yeah, that's the rumor mill, and Deontay could be, if it all pans out, he can make as close as maybe 25 to maybe $30 million for that fight. He can. So
I see why he's taking it. I see exactly why he's taking it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can see why why he's rejected that $15 million flat fee offer, because he's like, look, obviously I think he should take that money to fight Joshua. I think he could beat Joshua. But my thing is, like, on the flip side of it, it's like I can see why he rejected it, because I could fight Fury for that same amount. Plus, I'm getting back in money, and the terms are more favorable for me. So there you go.
That's another example of hope versus expect. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't expect fighters to take the fight that's a lot less money, but is more interesting to me. But of course, I hope they do. I'm a boxing fan.
Well, let's be honest though. This actually caught us by surprise, because no one expected this fight to go down this soon. We thought it may take us Fury at least another year or two before he gets back out the heavyweight title picture. But
my theory on that, at least in part on that, is that for Warren, it's a win-win, because even if Fury goes in there and gets sparked out, that to me that gives him, he gets more leverage over Fury. Basically, he's not, you know what I mean. He's less at the behest of what Fury wants to do and all that. He gets to have a little more to say, like, you know what I mean. No, dude, you just got knocked out. You know what I mean. So even though Fury will have a contract, you know what I mean, politically, if you want to say, for lack of a better way of putting it, he'll have more say than he and more leverage than he has right at the moment in their dealings.
Right. Well, one more thing. One more. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that pans out.
And on the flip side, if Fury goes in there and wins, he's got a share of the heavyweight championship. Not to mention a share of a whole bunch of money. So of course he's
going to go for it. And some people said this is a cash out fight. From the looks of it, it could be a cash out fight for him, because he doesn't. To me, Fury doesn't seem like he wants to be in the sport any longer. In my opinion, it doesn't look like he's looking for one more big fight.
Even if it's not Fury cashing himself out, I think it's Warren basically thinking to himself, hey, this is like Two-Face: heads I win, tails I win.
Yeah.
If he loses, I get, I still have Tyson Fury, but I kind of, you know what I mean? I get to pull the strings a little more here. I don't have to put up with these, Pianetta and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I can understand what he does, and if he wins, it sets up a friggin' domestic, unification and all. I mean, you know what I mean? He can't lose in the equation.
Right. Well, you know what though? Here's the thing though. Hey, here's the thing. Let's just hope that after the Pianetta fight, we'll see the Tyson Fury of old to some degree. That make the fight more interesting, so that way everybody can just say, okay,
yes.
we can get more of it.
I hope it's a classic. I'm not being sarcastic. I hope it's a classic.
I surely hope it is, man. Let's be real.
It's gonna look like the the heavyweight Sugar Ray Leonard, I think he said.
Hey,
Lo. Yeah, but which Sugar Ray Leonard, right? The one that fought Nunn, or the one that fought Lalonde, or
I was watching Samal Ali last night, so I'm hopeful because I seen him on the pads and he's trying to use his footwork and never stay a stationary target. So it's like, okay, I don't know. It just gave me some hope to say maybe we'll see a good fight, maybe we'll see a good Fury. I don't want to be so negative. I got enough negativity going on in real life.
Well, but hey, speaking of negativity, or you want to call it negativity, somebody in the chat saying that Adonis Stevenson lost to Badou Jack. You think he's ready for any top heavyweight at this point? Y'all are crazy. I don't know who he's
light heavyweight.
Boxing is me.
He's fucking boxing is fight. He's boxing is me. Vosdick,
yeah, he's getting ready to fight Vosdick. Boxing is me in the chat. He said that beat that guy, and y'all think he's ready for any type of light heavyweight at this point?
All that good work Jack did, and like I said, the referee stopped the fight and told him keep his punches up and gave Adonis a break. And right after that, the next round of the round in that, Adonis had a nosebleed to further hurt the stamina, and this man still had enough to win 2 rounds in a row in the late rounds. If you think that's easy work, I don't even think you know what work is. For real. That's just,
First off, what is with these? And I'm not even, for once, I'm not getting on you, little place. What is with these dudes that cannot accept scoreboard? All right.
I don't know. Well, boxing in me is cool.
Adonis didn't win. It was a draw.
It was a good draw.
And it was a good fight. But Jack's a very good fighter, but as usual, against the very best competition, he didn't do enough. That's what his track record says. Against the best competition,
damn hard. He changed the fight with one punch like 3 different times. So and Jack took
according to you, who did? Wait, Lopez, who did? If you're talking about Badou Jack, according to you, he changed him with low punches.
I do think Badou Jack was ridiculous. I think he was ridiculous. And Stevenson, I hate to say it, you got to do something about it. The trainer got to let him know, yo, take your 5-minute break and also punch his ass back in the nuts. But these fighters like Kovalev and Adonis, they like Kovalev got hit low, and he was and the referee said something, and Kovalev started fighting like 10 seconds later. Idiot, you are a puncher. Go take your break.
Well,
go take your break.
I gotta say, I think Adonis is about 1,000 times more mentally tough than Kovalev. And before I forget, did I or did I not call it way back after the first Ward fight? Kovalev's mentally weak, Dan.
Yeah, you did call it. You did call it
mentally weak.
He's a mentally weak individual because when things don't go his way, he'll find somebody or some factor to blame for his mistakes. He's not going to accept that he made mistakes. He makes mistakes. He doesn't do that. It's like he just can't. He doesn't have the maturity to do that. It's like, dude, you fucked up. You fix your problems. Don't blame anybody else. Don't blame your trainers. Don't blame your promoters. Don't blame your your managers, whoever. It's your fault that you didn't win the fight the way you should have won it. You got to go back and fix those problems. That's what Kostazut said. That's what he told him. It's like
when I knew that for sure he was mentally weak is when he started not just blaming, not just always projecting the blame, but then doing it in a completely contradictory manner. First he was robbed. Then he was overtrained. Well, wait a minute. So you're saying you actually lost, but you lost because you were over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And he even admitted that I faded after the 4th round. I got started to get tired.
Yeah, I see the story kept changing. But
Yeah.
it was never his. He never took on any of it, like you said.
I don't think it's just mental. I don't just think it's just mental with him. He goes for it. Like he goes with Alvarez. He was even going for it after Alvarez showed resistance.
No, but the second, no. But the second things started going against him, man, you could see it on his face. The dude folds. He folds.
I didn't see him nowhere near folding without. I see him get folded. Like
well, after that first knockdown, you could tell. After that first knockdown, you could tell he didn't want to be.
Let me read the comments in the chat. And Ralph on Real thinks that Adonis won. Okay, fair enough. Boxing is me says Jack beat that fool. Boxing and me says that Stevenson held for dear life against Jack. Tic Tac Tax said that if it was AJ fighting Wilder, if AJ was fighting Fury instead of Wilder, they were hyped up Fury as still a great fighter. Yeah, I pointed that earlier in my hangout. Tax. Yeah, I did say that because it's a complete double standard. So yeah, Ralph on Real says that Stevenson won. Jack was in trouble. He got lucky.
It was a draw. That was a rightful draw. Like that was a rightful draw. The 12th round, Stevenson looked like he was about to take it again. Jack came back. I felt like Jack pulled the round. Look, man, I won't go back to Kovalev because I think it's interesting that, like I said, he didn't fold in this one. If you talk about the first knockdown, he just was done. Like Alvarez knocked him out. He folded him. That's gonna happen some nights. But Kovalev is intriguing in the thought that he was going for it still. He just can't take what he can give out. Like Adonis, we saw him take what he can give out.
I've never seen Kovalev bite down, figuratively speaking, and dig out a fight that was going completely against him.
Let's be fair. Though he did it.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Let me correct you on that, Mr. Doc. I'm not a Kovalev fan, but I got to say this: after the tragic fight he had against what's his name, Carmine, I think the guy he killed in the ring. The fight after that, he fought against Darnell Boone. The first fight, he had to dig deep in that fight. He got knocked down several times, and he was hurt very badly. So he dig deep.
That's the one that one can't find footage of, huh?
Yeah, there's no footage on that fight. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll grant you. I'll grant because I haven't seen it. I'll grant that odds are he had to from the sound of it, he probably had to dig out of there. But I think you get my point. That's one side of how many fights, and that was a guy that he's supposed to beat.
Right, that was the guy he's supposed to be.
I've always contested that people don't like to hear it, but the Funfar Stevenson fight showed me more than any fight in the light heavyweight division prior to when Kovalev racked up his 3 titles. It showed me more because I saw resistance and I said, this man don't fade with no Thomas Williams Jr. as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Pascal's never done that.
He's seen some shit, but to me, he's 1,000 times mentally.
Well, let me say this. Matthew Saab Muhammad, when he fought Yaki Lopez in one of those that was one of the damn best light heavyweight fights of all time I've seen. Okay, when Matthew Saab Muhammad was in trouble against Yaki Lopez, okay, it looked like Yaki Lopez was going to knock out Muhammad. Okay, Muhammad was out, but somehow, some way, he dug deep and found some resilience, and he battled back and he knocked out Lopez and stopped him, which was the fight of the year at that time. I think it was 1978 when they fought. I mean, that was, if you want to talk about one of the best fight in the light heavyweight division where a light heavyweight had to find a way to dig deep when he was in trouble, take a look at Matthew Saab Muhammad. That man has been in numerous light heavyweight fights when he had to dig deep and find a way to win, And obviously that's what got him into the Hall of Fame. So God rest his soul. But yeah, I see your point, Lo. But obviously I think that Matthew Saab Muhammad is one of those best light heavyweights, in my opinion, that had to dig deep. To get him,
resistance show who you is, not a name. Like I'm not trying to disrespect the name Jean Pascal, but when you fight, it's just not. Look, I'm gonna be honest. The man had no top 10 wins 5 years prior to the fight, and still doesn't have one today. That's not
Jean Pascal.
Yeah, prior to that, I think it was 5 years prior to that Kovalev fight. He hadn't beat a top 10 fighter. And people still said, it's okay. It's okay. No.
It was still a good fight. It was still a good fight.
No, it wasn't a good fight. It was a domination. It was
the first one. The first one was a decent scrap. It looked like it was about to be an ass beating, but then Pascal, He made it interesting in the
He could fight
middle
2 rounds.
rounds.
The thing about him, he could fight only 2 rounds. He had 2 good rounds in him, and he said, "I'm laying back."
Pascal's always fought in
That's not it.
bursts.
That's not it. That's not resistance. Like he had almost just got knocked out by Butte, and I'm trying to tell people like,
No,
yo,
I think a more like if you want to just an example, not necessarily light heavyweight, like a recent one. To me, it would be the Lomachenko Linares.
Wait. I mean, then wasn't Yuniesky Gonzalez a top 10 guy before the Kovalev match?
oh, that was the Kovalev, and he
might have been.
win that fight. Did he? That's the thing. That's another thing. I hear you say scoreboard, but he got whooped by Gonzalez, who turns out to be what? A light heavyweight opponent at this point. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Kovalev just had an easier path. When you look at the names, you say, "Oh, that's sweet." But when you look at the resistance, the path of who had it the hardest, he's not one of those guys. He's just not, man. You can't tell me you fought.
Yeah, Kovalev's a front runner. He's the front runner.
I like him though. I'll give him his credit.
That doesn't make him. That doesn't make him. There's lots of good fighters have been front runners.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, but it was always questions for me, and they've been answered. And I mean, I respect what he did with Alvarez. That was a great fight. The man tried to fight. He tried to knock him out, but that's what happens. That's what happens. If he comes back.
See, that to me, that was like the inverse of the Pascal fight. It looked like Kovalev was going to get his ass beat, and then he kind of made it competitive in the middle, and then he got his ass beat.
You know what? But that knockout, to boxing fans that write people off, that knockout win to look like a great thing if he come back and knock out later Alvarez. Like that's what boxing is. That's the beauty of this shit. You don't have to play 80.
Hey, boxing is me. He's going hard at this one. He's going at it with Merv. He's like, in a respectful way, he's like, hey, boxing is me says, look, Alvarez was eating Kovalev's best shots. You think Adonis Stevenson hits harder?
He does.
He does. Body. That's about it.
If you're asking about one punch power, I'd have to lean towards Adonis, yeah.
Bro, you let him touch your stomach with that left hand and see. Bro, Badu, look, I've seen man.
Yeah, he made Badu Jack. Yeah, good point. He made Badu Jack hunch over and run. I've never seen the guy cover up his guts and run, man. You look like a pregnant woman. You know what I mean? Water broke and shit. He's running.
People talk about Keith Thurman doing a run when he getting Adonis Stevenson has made Fun Farah. That was the funniest shit I had seen that year. Fun Farah gets hit. He's 6'4" or whatever, 6'3" or whatever. He hunches down to 5'7", and he's just grabbing his stomach, running in a circle. And I'm just like, yo, these kind of punches, they change fights instantly. So I don't think Alvarez, who also has stamina problems, he can't take that to the body. He's not. I don't think he's a craftsman that Badu Jack is.
To your point, Adonis would be more focused to the body than Alvarez was. I would suspect.
Kovalev and Alvarez, but Alvarez doesn't have the movement of Badu Jack.
If Stevenson fought Kovalev, I think Stevenson would be more focused.
I don't think people realize how much of the ring Badu Jack uses, how good he uses it when he wants to. You look at him, you say he's in the pocket fighter, but you watch the
very, very, very good. I've never tried to say he's a crappy fighter.
Alvarez doesn't use it as well. He uses it, but not as well. You saw him several times on the ropes with Kovalev pinned because Kovalev was able to cut the ring off on him, and Kovalev and Stevenson have that same trait. It's just where Stevenson gonna drop that left hand down low if you allow him to get close. If you stand still with him, good luck, man. Good luck with that shit. I don't care if he's 45. That damn thing right there, that left hand, that shit's night, bro. That shit is night, or at least I need a quick nap. Where you run around the ring and shit. The dude is crazy, man. And people don't want to value it, but when he's 41 years old and he fights like he's 25, but how can you not like
punchers,
that?
Man? A lot of punchers carry their punch till their 40s. That's how that shit works.
And it's not like the George Foreman kind of punch where George wasn't he wasn't explosive. It was just like he detonated. You get what I'm saying? It was thud.
George had those gigantic hands. Like Brock Lesnar.
Stevenson still looked like he jumping from the free throw line to hit you. You see what I'm saying? Like it's coming from range and still can do that. And that's what I'm saying. It still fights like the guy's 25, 26, 27. And that's why I kind of think Vozick don't got a shot, but he's a good young fighter. I think he's just gonna get hurt quick, man. He gonna need a band-aid for what happened to him early. That's what I think.
You think you're gonna get hurt?
Early. Gonna need a band-aid early, man. It's gonna be like
Well, at this point, I would have to favor Stevenson to win it, but slightly. But obviously, these are younger, stronger light heavyweights he's fighting these days. So
I'm looking forward to that fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it.
With Jack though, like, cause Stevenson, I had to say this. He could easily be older after, like, that fight was rough. Badu Jack did a lot of bullshit, but it got him results. So those results that you took out on Adonis, they could show up in the next fight. That's the only thing I can't call it yet. I have to see it first. So if I see a guy that's not fighting well in the first 2-3 rounds, and I know, he's probably shot. But that's the type of guy you're gonna be able to tell it with right away.
Just generally speaking, light heavyweight and cruiserweight, although this is not at all in support of Kathy Duva's insanity, but light heavyweight and cruiserweight are two divisions where, in particular, you know what I mean, knockouts just happen. They do, because you got a lot of guys, bigger guys cutting weight down and whatnot.
That's prime size for me, man. That's a prime division. 175 pounds, quick, athletic, just nasty punches. It's prime. That's the prime weight right there for me.
Yeah, well, you know what though? I have to say one thing though. After looking at the Marcus Brown fight, he fought some guy named, I think it was Gonzalez or some guy, right? Journeyman guy, like heavyweight journeyman, I believe, or some up and coming guy, whatever. Marcus Brown, when that performance was pretty bad, and I was like, dude, looking at that performance, if you took out Lady Alvarez and put in Marcus Brown, who was supposed to fight Kovalev, I thought Kovalev. I'm convinced that Kovalev would have knocked him out badly. Marcus Brown keep his hands down, not moving off the pivot of his lead foot, not well, eating shots. I mean, dude got knocked down that fight against Gonzalez. It's like. And he struggled, and some people thought he lost that fight. So it's like
I haven't seen.
I think it would have been interesting early. I think because Kovalev, I think, is probably on top of being mentally weak, probably getting on a little bit on the old side. Not saying he's done, but could be. Who knows? I think it would have been interesting early. But I think eventually the errors would have caught up with him.
It would have. Well, hey, boxing is me saying that, look, Alvarez has got quicker hand speed than Stevenson. Bivol beat Stevenson. So
I'm not sure Alvarez has quick. I don't know.
Yeah, he does. I have to agree with boxing is me because I thought Kovalev had quick hand speed as a light heavyweight, but he had way faster hands than Kovalev. He was stronger than Kovalev. His jab was stronger than Kovalev.
I think they all fast.
Stevenson's always been kind of more of a timing fighter. At least in his time at the top.
Strong, bro. All of them. Like, I just don't see
because he's pretty much he's been an old dude for most of his time at the top here.
Yeah, Stevenson wasn't always the fastest, but he had decent hand speed. I mean,
they both about the same, and like timing and speed.
I don't know about that. Alvarez seemed to have quicker hands.
Alvarez has athletically the faster hands. Stevenson has better timing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, Lo. Hey, a lot of people are going against your boy, man. Vozick.
I'm glad. That's what the division's supposed to do. I hope they start doing it. I want to see all them damn fights. I done told people from time and time again.
If nothing else, that means that Adonis is fighting somebody good.
I done told them time and time again. I don't give a damn who win and look. I want to see these fights. They just weren't listening. I ain't never lied about them, man. I ain't never stated a false fact. I done kept it.
Yeah, once.
Let's not get derailed with that.
It's real, man. I just understand the best fighter in the world. I believe he is, and he's shown he was. People just wanted to close their eyes. People wanted to close their eyes and forget, man. You cannot. I don't know no fighter of the year that people try to.
You didn't mean that. You didn't mean that when you said best fighter in the world. You didn't mean that.
A fighter of the year that people just tried to forget. Can y'all name me one? A fighter of the year that people just literally tried to forget because they didn't get one fight. People literally, man, I ain't never seen that shit. I ain't never seen it.
What we literally try to forget? What do you mean?
Adonis didn't win no Fighter of the Year. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
He was. Yeah,
This year?
2013. No, 2013.
Yeah, 5 years ago, low place. That's
Yeah,
true.
5 years
People
ago.
try to forget. People try to forget in 2014 because he got rewarded for being a great fighter and got a network deal. They said, "Oh, we want to forget him because he's with Al Haymon." I never seen that shit. I was just
No,
like,
they wanted to forget his ass because he backstabbed him after he verbally committed that he was going to resign with him.
"Hey, HBO
Forgave
should have
that.
made
Come on, the horse is dead. It doesn't need to be beaten anymore.
made that money,
We've
man.
all
Look,
staked
hey,
out our territory on
HBO been
that
dying ever since.
particular
HBO been
topic.
dying ever since, man. They let a fight of the year go. They let Kovalev Stevenson go. They would have had 4 titles at light heavyweight. Showtime would be no
There's
player
no
at
debate.
light
Whoa,
heavyweight.
there's no debate there, low place. HBO boxing's been on the ropes for years.
Yeah, and when they let him go, you know what they done? They fired a lot of people. They said you got rid of my fight of the year. They started cutting dick.
As much as I enjoyed it, and the super flyweight cards, I'm telling you, one of the reasons they were doing those and making those a big deal is because the overhead is low. And no, that's not a height joke. Cheap, exactly.
Well, all I know is that we can't beat the dead horse on it. It's long overdue. That ship has sailed a long time ago. But the fact is that we didn't get the light heavyweight fight that we wanted to see. Kovalev and Stevenson. This kind of reminds me of Wilder and Joshua. It's one of those situations that we're not going to see this fight probably ever, or if we do ever see it, is going to happen in the later years when these guys have taken losses on their records. Or they
change management or something. Because at this point,
better fights for Stevenson right now, though, man. You got to stay in the game. You got to stay in the game.
Those two camps. What do you think, Dan? I don't think those two camps are either one's going to budge an inch at this point.
No, they're not. They're not. Yeah. Hey,
Kovalev couldn't stay in the game, man. That's just that, you know.
Nah, he's done. He's done. I don't care. He's done.
If he wants to claim he fought Stevenson's mandatory, well, the truth is Stevenson's fighting the guy that you didn't fight for the WBO title like you're supposed to. And if he stays in the game,
on the downside, because on top of being mentally weak, he's physically starting to slip.
It's nothing to talk about, Kovalev. You know, like you got to stay in the game. It's nobody else's job but his. And you know, he can ride that Stevenson duck me shit all he wants.
There's another perfect example, just like the Fury Wilder fight. If he really wants to come back and get the crap beat out of him again by Alvarez, by all means, let him do it. You know what I mean?
Hey, boxing is me. Don't like you.
Yes,
boxing
exactly.
is me.
Oh, what?
Boxing is me in the chat says Stevenson best heavyweight, the best fighter in the world. He laughing at you, Lo.
We all laugh about it. We all think that's funny.
You tell me which fighter you see today going to be 41 years old fighting 27, 28-year-old guys.
Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, Luis Ortiz, exactly.
Yo, he ain't winning either. That guy ain't got a knockout of the, he ain't no fighter of the year. He's not no 5-year reigning lineal champion. He's none of that. I'm saying there's guys out there that might be
5-year lineal champion. Who's he fought? Who's Stevenson fought and beat? Wait. Hold up. Who's Stevenson fought and beat?
He fought the roughest resistance out of all the light heavyweights. You can
get out of here. Get out of here.
He's got a better resume than Luis Ortiz, but that's
let me tell you this.
I'll give you that.
I'm not saying resume. Because like I said, you can't just look at a name and say, "Oh, Pascal." No, I think From Far put up a better fight. He was more prepared for the fight.
Wait a minute. Are you comparing Anthony performance to like Brian Jennings? Brian Jennings. I mean, come on, man.
I think he's trying to compare that shit to fucking Wilder Ortiz, man. Bro.
Who has top 10 wins after the fight? Fun Far went on to top Chavez Jr.
Let me say something. Let me say something before you say something. Hold up. Let me say this. Did Stevenson had some decent competition? Yes. The roughest? I don't think so. Despite what you think about the Kovalev and Stevenson situation, I have to say Kovalev has went through the tougher resistance than Stevenson. Let's be
What resistance did Hopkins apply? What resistance did Hopkins apply?
We ain't talking about Hopkins. We talking about Pascal.
Okay, we're talking
about Ward. We talking about Ward. We talking about Chilemba. We talking about Alvarez. Come on.
2
Are you-
fights and yeah. And when you talk about his losses, you're talking about his losses. Alvarez isn't gonna outdo a body jack
He
fight.
lost because he fought a better opponent than anybody Stevenson's fought.
No.
Exactly. He
No.
did.
We're talking about Badu Jack, who should have been the lineal and
He didn't beat Badu.
no. But he didn't lose to Badu. That's the
Jack
thing.
is not a better fighter than Andre Ward. Full stop.
But he did not lose to Badu Jack. That's
But
what.
what did I say? I said he lost because he fought a better fighter than anybody Stevenson has fought. Andre Ward is a better fighter than Badu Jack. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Honestly, can't.
It is. That's a fact. You can't say I don't know. That's a fact.
There's no I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't know, bro.
The best 160
going to the Hall of Fame. Badu Jack at the moment is destined for the Hall of Very Good. And again, I'm not even really being funny when I say that. He's very good. That's not shitting on him. You know what I mean? He's an elite fighter, but he's not great.
The better there. I think he does.
Badu Jack is not Dan. Correct me if
Badu Jack is not better than Ward.
No,
he's not better than Ward. I'm sorry.
Am I being too harsh when I say Badu Jack is not great?
Darrell, DeGale, Butte, and they can talk about scorecard. This man,
all right. Let me get this straight. You can compare that to wait. You comparing that to Ward against Kessler, Abraham. I mean,
he ended the fight on the headbutt, bro. He ended the fight on the headbutt. Here we go. I'm not telling you.
But he beat the man. He was outpointing him despite that little headbutt.
He was going to the Hall of Fame first, Lo.
That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. You can say that. But I think just overall what they do in the ring, I think.
Okay, so wait, why? So why then? Explain to us why is Andre Ward going to the Hall of Fame first?
Ward got the Kovalev fight. He got a mentally weak guy to beat up on, and he fouled him and beat him up. I mean, you can't do that with
Dazn. Well played. Using the mentally weak card. I like that.
You could try. Jack tried the same strategy with Stevenson. He tried to hit him low, zap his power. Steve said, "Fuck all that shit." He just did. He just did. I can't believe a dynasty. No, Dan, we were on the call together. I was telling you, Stevenson is about to wilt. I said, yo, I'm not happy with what Badu Jack is doing, but Stevenson is wilting from this shit. And next thing you know, this 40-year-old motherfucker said, you ain't taking my title to Las Vegas. Kovalev refused. Jack would have had the same legacy at light heavyweight had this 40-year-old melted. He would have had a better legacy.
Ward moved up from super middleweight and came off of like a 2-year layoff.
Yeah, I get that, but he would have been the lineal.
And unlike your boy, okay, he was decisive and got a stoppage in the rematch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
More to the point, he rematched the disputed fight. He left no doubt.
Hey,
the resistance is simply tougher. Adonis Stevenson is more resistance than Kovalev.
Wait, hold up. No. We ain't letting you get away with that one.
This is the truth about Adonis Stevenson that is not the truth about Adonis.
I said that Andre Ward is better. I said Andre Ward is greater and better than Badu Jack.
I can't accept it. I just because
you disagreed. Are you going to agree?
Let me tell you something.
Wait, hold up. Wait.
Does anybody in the comment section think that
hold up. Mr. Doc.
Before Andre Ward. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask him real quickly. 2 questions. Who's going to the Hall of Fame? Andre Ward or Adonis Stevenson?
I give y'all the Hall of Fame.
What about Badu Jack?
I don't think
Badu Jack.
I'll give you the Hall of Fame argument, but I don't think that defeats the.
If he's not great, why is he going to the Hall of Fame first? Explain it.
That's fine. You like I said, you can have that argument, but when I'm talking,
okay, so you agree? So you agree that?
No, wait, Mr. Donovan. Let him finish. Go ahead, Flo. Finish up.
The award and accolade thing you can have, but when I'm telling you, Kovalev might make a Hall of Fame before Adonis Stevenson, but what I'm telling you, I saw is 2 people get done the same way, and one man refused at an older age, and he was the smaller man in the ring that night.
You're changing the argument. We're debating Badu Jack, not Adonis. We're debating Badu Jack.
Hold on. I'm giving you that. The smaller man, Adonis Kovalev, has never been the smaller man in the ring. Adonis is every night he fights. Every night he fights. Smaller, younger, come up in weight already. People try to walk him down and he deals with them. He's been in the ring saying, I fight fire with fire. You have never heard Kovalev say shit like that because he's fought guys who have come in and wilted. Adonis Stevenson showed you if Badu Jack was to get that win, he have a greater win than Sergey Kovalev and he'd be the lineal champion. But the problem is he was fighting a man that's smaller, older, whatever you want to call it, and he's tougher fight than Sergey Kovalev. It's just the facts. It's just true,
Who?
man.
Bottle Jack?
Wait, but the small old guy coming off a layoff beat up Kovalev. Why you can't take away the credit for doing that?
I'm not taking away anything. I'm simply saying Badu Jack fought a tougher opponent than Adonis Stevenson. It's just true. He's a long arm southpaw that does not have no quit in him. Where you've seen Kovalev, he's turned down his biggest payday. He's quitting the fights.
Okay. Well, if he fought a tougher opponent than Andre Ward did what he was supposed to, he won, and then he won again, stopping the guy.
What'd you say? Say it again.
I said if, and I'm not saying I do agree with this, but if one were to accept your point, okay, that Stevenson is the tougher opponent, then Andre Ward did what he was supposed to and beat the guy once, and then came back and emphasized the point.
That's credit there. That's fine. He won,
and that still doesn't change the fact that he's moving up in weight. Whereas Adonis, hang on, Adonis started out the same place Badu Jack did, 168.
Yeah, but he's been showing you it don't matter. These guys been 6'3". These guys been 6'2", 6'1".
No. The bottom, but no. Adonis is not a bigger dude, whereas Andre Ward moved up in weight and fought a bigger dude.
You think that, but the argument does still hold that Adonis Stevenson has showed.
Did Adonis not start at 168?
Yes, he did. I agree.
Okay, that's all that. No. There's no debating it. It's what he is.
No, I'm not debating it. I'm just telling you on the flip side. That man fights people that are.
I'm not saying you can't say Stevenson was better. I'm just saying you cannot say that Badu Jack fought a bigger guy and moved up in weight like Andre Ward did.
I just said Adonis was the smaller guy. I was saying Adonis is the smaller guy, and he still showed more heart.
Him and Jack both started at super middle.
Badu Jack is talking about going to cruiserweight. Badu Jack is talking about being a cruiserweight champion.
Doesn't matter. He started at 168. Kovalev's skeleton probably weighs 168.
Jack probably bigger than Kovalev in the ring, man. Jack probably bigger than him in the ring. I wouldn't be surprised. That's a big guy, man. That's a big ass dude.
So is Alvarez.
All of them are.
It's not. There's rehydration in low places is one thing, and what you're able to cut down to is another. The bottom line is Badu Jack has the frame. All right, we're to start out at a super middleweight, just like Stevenson did.
He said Ward, the one who beat Chad Dawson, Adonis fought him after. Okay, that's fine. But again, Alvarez comes after Ward, and he did maybe a better job, more definite job. That just happens. People gonna look. I'm rooting for Kovalev to knock Alvarez out in the next fight because I want to be able to see.
But you could use the argument that Kovalev was damaged goods after what Ward did to him.
I don't think he was. He got damaged.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Well,
he was.
I'll say this much. Like I said earlier, I called it at the time. I said at the time, Kovalev is just in general. It's not a matter of. I think he was always this way, mentally weak. And once that was exposed, that glaring flaw is there for all to see. He wasn't what he used to be.
He was a monster in that fight. He was putting it on Alvarez. Alvarez just turned.
He won like 2, maybe 3 rounds. Maybe one. Maybe the first was even.
He found the adjustment, which a mentally weak fighter normally can't do. And then not only did he find the adjustment, I thought Alvarez was about to give out. Kovalev was looking like a machine. I am hoping that Kovalev, not no hate on Alvarez, but I just want to see a fighter. I like redemption. I like George Grove's story. Hell, James DeGale, if he come back, he might be the best story of 2018. I mean, 2000, whatever this year is, 2010 to 2020. I like them stories. And I want to see if Kovalev can mark his name and come back fight of the year type shit. That's what I want to see.
Ain't gonna
DeGale,
happen.
DeGale
It
not
ain't
off
gonna
to a
happen.
good. He's not off to a very good start.
No, he ain't. No, he ain't. George Groves is no. George Groves is there. George is the shit, man. George is the shit. St. Groves is my guy. I'm rocking with that. He fought anybody that had to fight.
Well, after he gets past Calvin Smith, I don't know if George Groves is going to continue. He's got too many injuries in his career. That's plagued his
Yeah, if he beats Smith,
ability.
he should hang it up. And that's
Yeah.
assuming he wins, because shoulders,
Well,
man, shoulders are fucking tricky things.
Yeah, it is. A shoulder injury is really getting to him. Is really affecting his ability. I mean, he might.
And shoulders are just in general very, in boxing, you know what I mean? They're very tricky, dangerous injuries.
Yeah, it'll go out on him in the fight. It'll go out on him in the fight. He quit in the fight for some shit like that, man.
Isn't that what ended Buddy McGirt's career? Shoulder injury.
Yeah, that ended his career.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Well, the shoulder injury. To be fair, that shortened Andre Ward's career to some degree, or shortened his abilities with his shoulder off.
That was part of. Yeah, the shoulder was one of his injuries that he took time off for, huh?
I'm hoping he can get that victory, man. I'm hoping George get that victory. Him and DeGale, even though DeGale may not be on it the way he should, probably put something big together, and maybe DeGale
here. Those two fighting, that would make sense. That would make sense because they're both kind of at the same. They're both at the same stage.
Groves won't even have 2 titles. This is so fucked up. Groves won't even have 2 damn titles, as far as I know. If he go through this division that was stacked, that's just so jacked, bro. Like a man, he's fought Froch twice, fought Jack, fought DeGale, Chudnoff, shit, Eubank, you name it. He get in the damn ring, and you go through a tournament, and the only belt that you get to leave with is yours that you came in with. Man, that's sad. That's fucking sad. All them champions ought to be ashamed of their damn selves. I know he'll get that WBC underling belt, but that's not cool. Like everybody else who goes through the tournament.
I was saying earlier, I really think Eddie should have let what's his name, Hooker, stay in the Super Series. Because my thought is, even if he lost, it's gonna improve. You know what I mean? His profile, what have you.
He can't. He had the mandatory. He had the mandatory, so I don't think he could have. But I think they got 2 belts in that one, which ain't as bad as, you can leave with 2 at least. Hell, Groves could win this damn thing and basically say, I came in here with what I left out of here with what I came in here with, and I'm older. And now this dude that ain't been through the ringer, David Benavidez, want to pick me off. That's some bullshit, man. That's some bullshit, man.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that historically fans will be able to perceive very easily. They'll be able to, like Michael Spinks. All right, everybody, can, even if they didn't see the fights at the time, you can just look back and go, "Hey, wait a minute! How come this asshole didn't fight in that tournament?" And Mike had to do all the heavy lifting. What's going on here?
True.
Yeah,
so you know what I mean? You get the same thing.
I'm rooting for George, man. I like them stories, bro. Like I said,
I don't think that in a million years George Groves, if he wins, is going to fight David Benavidez or anybody like that.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen. They're not.
Yeah. Why reward him? Why reward him for you doing all the work when you can get you a big payday? Why, like, simply, like that's real.
He'll fight DeGale first, just like DeGale ain't fighting Uzcategui. He ain't trying to.
Went through the damn ringer, and now I can't even tell you who Benavidez. I can't think of the name right now. He fought 2 rematch.
He fought Porky Medina, and he fought. Oh God, what's his name? Gabriel. That was the first one. Was actually a pretty good fight.
Yeah, and that's just you ain't going through the ringer like that, man. Let that man, let Groves and DeGale. I hope they put it on.
To be fair, the way he beat up Medina was good. It was, you know what I mean, for where he was at. So I mean, he was, and the 2 Gavril fights, those are good, but he's got to keep the momentum going, so to speak.
They said Terrell is gonna move up to 75 after those Uzcategui beatings. I can't even see him ever fight.
He's moving up to the retirement home. He's moving up too bad.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's bizarre. I mean, why? He's already spent as it is. I mean, why are you gonna make that move? I mean,
he never became a champion, man. He never won a title. That's crazy. Talented as well. Never won a title.
Never the same after that Arthur Abraham fight.
Should have got the Froch fight. He beat Froch. I'm gonna go there.
I still can't believe people say that was faked. It's like look at him afterwards. Just look at him. You know what I mean? Look at him. You know, in the ring.
The break he had to take, just like motherfucker, like fake. He's sitting out, can't fight. You know what was it? 2 whole years, just about. Nah, man.
Even in the fights where he did well, he clearly wasn't the same guy.
I don't even think the Uzcategui first one was fake. I think he literally was fucked up.
That was just one of those boxing things. I don't think it was an intentional after the bell shot, but it was. But
well, he was already warned once already.
Yeah, he was dirty.
He was warned once already.
And regardless, the rematch that was decisive. But that was the end of Durrell.
That's the point I was making with Stevenson. Whether it's right or wrong, you shot from it. Possibly Durrell. That shit ended up on his face.
Yeah, it could have been the same thing with Kovalev. Kovalev could have been shot from the ward fights.
His uncle had to fight for him. He didn't know what was going on. Well, I mean, man, like Stevenson took a lot of punishment. If I see, and like Durrell, it could definitely be that. I didn't see that going in there saying like he's going to be all the way done, but it could be overnight, man. That's the beauty of boxing. It's the beast of boxing as well.
Yeah, true. But hey, gentlemen, I'm about to wrap this up, man. Thank you guys for coming on. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dan.
Yeah, I'm about to wrap this up. Until then, I know Fury and the Wilder confrontation is supposed to happen in Belfast. We'll see how that goes down, whatnot. I know somebody asked me about the Eddie Hearn purse bid thing earlier today. I did cover that, but obviously it is what it is. Other than that, guys, I'd like to thank the chat for tuning in. Until next time, guys, we are out. Peace.
Peace.